All right, we are officially live.
Woo! I'm live on the scene. I'm in the swamp. I'm looking for Bigfoot.
You are, though. I'm actually kind of jealous. I really enjoy the way that's working. It's pretty fucking hilarious, actually.
With my Bigfoot shirt on. I'm ready.
Bill came prepared. I did my hair.
This will be the episode where they actually prove the thing they're going to look out for. I'm excited. I am ready for it.
Well, okay, but last episode we were very clearly told which spy was spy 352?
355.
355. So Scott made a decision for us last episode, so that is definitive.
Of the only three that I'm going to give you, and in the end, the deciding factor was who was actually in New York City. The one who was actually in New York City of the three that they gave us as possibilities had to be the choice.
She was really kind of like the second to least likely, honestly. I feel like. I don't know. It seemed like she was busy doing other things and didn't really have the connection she would have needed to get groundbreaking information. I don't know.
If you're a spy on one thing, you're spying on everything. That's what we learned last week.
I don't really think she qualified as a spy, though. She was more like a I don't know, freedom fighter. I don't know what's it called when you're just rescuing people, like a rescuer. She was just a rescuer.
The resistance.
Yeah, I mean it's cool and all. I'm not knocking what she did. I'm just like it's not the thing that you were saying it was. Anyway, today, if you're just joining us, today we are talking about Bigfoot. And don't ask. I am, as always, interested to see how Walter is going to combine his experiences with geology and Bigfoot. Like, where is this intersection going to happen? He kind of didn't do it with the spy one, so he's got to redeem himself some here with the Bigfoot episode. I need to see some rocks and some soil. He doesn't really do soil, though, does he? He just does rock.
Which I did find out. I was reading up a little bit. I've been stalking him. See if cyber stalking him online. And apparently,
he'll block your ass.
Well, no, I haven't done that. I don't want to interact with him. I got nothing to say to him. I got nothing I want to hear from him.
I have nothing to say to you.
I have nothing to say to you, sir. I actually don't want to interact.
There we go. Yeah, the lag's not too bad this time. Anyway. Finish what you were saying. I'm sorry.
I have nothing to say to him. Yeah, no. Petra. His specialty is to look at rocks and mineral compositions and to determine their compositions. In the same way, in the archaeology, you would use that to determine like the tempering of potteries and things like that, the different compositions of different minerals and stuff.
Right.
But there's a name.
I know he's claimed he's created a form of science where he claims he can date stone.
That's always his weird thing, because he's, at least every time he's done it on the show, it's been supposedly based upon where.
Right. And he never takes into account erosion or anything. I don't like how he does it. It doesn't seem accurate.
Well, it doesn't account for all the possibilities.
Right, exactly. Am I spelling SciComm right? I don't know. Anyway. The link is live. So, as soon as I get done sending this tweet, because I am proactive, y'all.
Unless you're already here because you saw the tweet on ArchaeoThoughts, who is also spreading this good stuff with my strong meme game when it comes to Bigfoot.
I still like that one. I think it's funny. If I didn't already have an icon, I would use that. That's pretty funny.
You're more than welcome to take it if you want to like spread it on Instagram or something. If you want to hype it up on Instagram later. Not now, after the show.
Again, it require me to understand how the program works. You know, for someone my age, I have no excuse, but I don't know how to use this shit. Anyway.
I know. I'm the old guy who's like all the tech, got all the tech stuff.
I know. It's like my dad. My dad was like, yes, I'm on the cutting edge of everything. And I'm like, screw you. I barely know how to tweet. All right. Are you ready to go to the bayou?
I got my shirt. I'm in the swamp. I got some sweet tea. Well, I got my sweet tea right here. I'm ready to go.
Saying it wrong. It's sweet tea.
I was distracted when it disappeared on my screen.
You like held up the tea and you're like, I have. Here you go. I'm loving this background. I'm sorry. All right. Once again, into the bridge.
A huge ape-like creature allegedly walks upright.
Isn't this the footage that's been debunked?
It's only been seen from far away. But tonight, I plan to see it up close.
I don't see nothing.
I see trees. Oh, there we go. There was a light. Is he hunting blind or hunting behind a blind?
Why not both?
Here goes my alarm. Shush. So who's filming him?
But he knows how this works, though. He did the... What's that?
Okay, I gotta go check that out.
Uh-huh. It'll never hear you coming, Walter.
So you got night vision for the camera, or at least a post filter for night vision on the camera, but not for yourself.
Okay, so Walter goes tromping through the swamp, finds a swamp being the key word here, finds something that smells, and then sets up a flare.
Which looks like it's either at dusk or dawn, even though it appeared they were giving us the appearance he was in pitch black when he was running around. But yes, to discover a strange... Well, I mean, that's the southern Bigfoot stuff goes along with the whole skunk ape idea. There's always talk of a very bad odor or smell associated with the creature.
I don't know enough about Bigfoot to...
I know way too much. I was watching $6 Million Man with Andre the Giant. Had Bigfoot toys. I was upset. I couldn't find my Bigfoot anthropology book this morning.
Oh no! So there's a skunk bear?
Skunk ape.
Skunk. Okay.
Like in the Carolinas and in the South, it's called a skunk ape.
Okay.
Because of its peculiar odor.
Does it smell like a skunk?
It just smells real bad.
All
right. Now suffer through the intro.
Taught growing up is wrong. My name is Scott Walter, and I'm a forensic geologist. There's a hidden history in this country that nobody knows.
My name's Sarah Head, and I'm a forensic archaeologist, even though that's an actual field and I'm not really qualified for it.
There are pyramids here, chambers, tombs, inscriptions.
There's chambers.
Chambers.
We're going to investigate these artifact sites, and we're going to get to the truth. Sometimes history isn't what we've been told.
I feel like his intro could be enhanced a lot when he says the truth, if they just like put a huge like capital letter truth up on the screen real fast. Anyway. Honey Island Swamp. I don't care what name you put in front of it. If there's swamp at the end, I'm not that taken.
Deep in the Louisiana bayou, a legendary creature is said to lurk.
There's something out there. There's something big in the swamp.
It was an unidentified creature.
It kind of turns your world upside down when you see something like that.
Many locals have seen it, and I convinced a few of them to talk. There's even a new report of an eyewitness catching the creature on thermal video. That's why I'm in Louisiana, to investigate the Honey Island swamp monster.
There he is, right there. See, problem solved.
It stood on two
legs. You know that's a man in a suit.
Dark,
Stop it.
What?
shaped eyes, and it looked like it was upright, and it looked fairly tall.
Do they have black bears out there?
Smell, a musky odor.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
What made you decide to tell me?
I know you're a scientist and you do research, and if this helped you, I want to help you.
If this creature really exists, it picked the perfect place to hide.
Did it?
Honey Island Swamp, known as the Amazon of North America, spans 130
Okay, that needs to be verified.
over 100 times the size of New York Central
The Amazon.
Park.
Wait, what are you doing? Stop it. Listen to me. Wait, Amazon of America? We have
Amazon in North America. We have Amazon of America. It's called the Amazon.
That's what I thought. Is this like a piece of the Amazon that somehow drifted north?
Amazon of North. Let me do on the spot fact checking.
Dun, dun,
From
dun,
the field.
Dun, 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 dun. I feel like I need to play you some action music.
Amazon of North America.
Is that a thing?
Let's see. I got from Alabama.com. Is Alabama home to America's Amazon?
Nah, he's in Louisiana.
I know. Sharks. Lots of stuff being sold on Amazon.com.
I shop there sometimes. Okay, all the time.
Let me put some parentheses around it to narrow the search.
Come up and look for Bigfoot with us. Come on. All right, you can sit there and stare at me like I'm dumb. Whatever. I don't like you anyway.
Okay, warring parties in the Amazon of North America, national parks, A&E News. Where are we at? We are in the Big Cypress National Preserve in Florida. So no one or everyone calls everything that has a semi-tropical climate the Amazon of North America.
Okay.
Debunked. Live debunked. We need the banner line. Debunked. Debunked.
I will work on that.
We'll do that in post.
Don't put words in my mouth. You act like I know what I'm doing. You are wrong, sir. What are you eating? Nope, too late. What do you got in your mouth? Give it here. Spit it out. Spit it out. Shit. Problem with animals, they swallow things too fast. All right, back to the show. Anyway, now that you've watched me strangle my cat.
All over the world, people tell stories of giant ape-like creatures hiding in the wilderness. Sasquatch roams North America. The Yeti stalks Nepal's Himalayan mountains. And the Yowie haunts Australia's outback.
Why such negative language for
I
all of
investigated
those?
the theory these legendary creatures are real. And they're all surviving members of a species called Gigantopithecus, a giant primate from the last ice age. Scientists believe it went extinct thousands of years ago. But I think Gigantopithecus may have migrated from Asia to other parts of the world, maybe here to the swamp.
Because why not?
Maybe.
Controller named Harlan
Why not
Ford
Zoidberg?
first spotted the creature back in 1963. He tracked it until his death in 1980.
Those prints are not by any mammal.
Village of Slidell, Louisiana, to meet Harlan's granddaughter, Dana Holyfield.
Hi, Dana. Oh, instead of watching him drive cars this episode, we're watching him drive boats.
And we are now in a civilized area. We have backpack.
I'm doing good. I got by your
does.
goose there.
Yeah, it's kind of a good
It's
watch.
a home setting, so I still think it
Blood
counts.
bug, you hungry?
One of these?
Yeah, that's crawfish.
I hear they're delicious.
Well, I'm about to boil some.
Have you never seen
Sounds
a
good
crawfish?
to me.
He's from Minnesota.
They have crayfish in Minnesota. I've seen
I'll
them.
gladly taste this Bayou specialty if it means learning more about the guy who coined the name.
So that means you really don't like it. You're just doing it to find out information. Man, what an asshole.
About the monster.
He was on a hunt trip with him and his friend Billy Mills, and they came up on this thing that was on all fours. They thought it was like a hog at first, and Billy said, "What is that thing?" And when it heard their voice, it stood up, turned and faced them. He said that when it stood up like a human would on 2 feet.
So
My
it was
grandfather
a bear.
stood 6'4", And he said it was taller than he was.
Taller than he was, like a bear.
Broad shoulders, had the long arms, long, dingy, grayish, dusty-looking hair.
So it
He
was
said
a
it was
bear?
pretty sinister looking. Scared him, so he was getting his gun out of his backpack, and by the time they did that, it turned and ran. That was the first time in 1963 that he come face to face with it.
There must have been people that thought it was a hoax, right?
Some people still today think it's a hoax.
Some people still today.
My grandfather never
Still
let
today.
that bother him because he knew what he'd seen out there, and he was
I don't think it's a
determined to
hoax. I
try
think
to
he saw a
find out
bear.
what exactly this thing was.
I know that he took a cast of a footprint, right?
Correct.
Do you still have that cast?
I do. I got the 8mm film too.
Okay. Well, dinner can wait.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to eat the crawfish.
He really doesn't, and he's trying to be
Sure.
polite about it, but that's clearly him like dodging the crawfish. It's all right, man. Crawfish are just little tiny lobsters. They taste really good, actually. I'm not gonna suck the head out of them because I still think that's a little too gross.
I keep hearing that's the best part, but I mean, I don't. When I eat them, I don't do that.
Yeah,
I hand them off to my partner. Let her suck the head out.
Yeah,
She enjoys that.
relatives are like, oh, that's the best part, and I'm like, okay. Well, you know what? Here, enjoy. All right, Bug. You and I, not friends. I was going to say something. Oh, the bear. No, never mind. I don't remember anything now. Onward. Did you have anything, Bill?
No. I'm just thinking crawdaddies right now.
While he's inside the house. I don't know what they're trying to do here, showing her unique decor. Dude, her back porch is... Oh, I was going to talk about casts.
Wow, look at that.
Okay.
You know, this looks like...
Here's my problem with casts. I've done casting. And I remember doing casting when I was a child and how very easy it is to just kind of put your finger in there and kind of dig around in it. And I also know that forensically, casting is used, but it is not reliable.
No, there's too many factors that can. I mean, given that terrain there, it's going to be muddy, which means things are going to slip and slide. Even actual footprints, the manipulation, even the casting. If depending on how soft the soil is, the casting material can itself alter the.
Exactly. I was going to mention that because I have seen the studies where they've done castings of shoe prints because that's usually why it's used forensically. And yeah, the material itself, if it's not mixed right or if the soil is not the right kind of soil, it will actually expand inside of the footprint and alter the footprint.
Also, as we get another look at this cast here, there's no primate with toes like that.
Yeah,
they're way too long. I mean, there may be monkey, or it could be something like a I don't know bare feet well enough, but it could be like a
Gigantopithecus
or cat.
Gigantopithecus. Because I like saying it.
Claw, that's my first impression.
Yes, it looks like a
kind
claw.
of looks almost like an alligator foot. It's got 3 very pronounced toes. It's got a 4th toe here, and you can see bones in the foot.
Like knuckles.
Yeah, this foot looks different than some of the others that I've seen. You know, Bigfoot actually looks more like a human foot, but here we are in the swamp.
Alligators
Maybe this thing evolved differently.
I mean, I know they do in Scooby-Doo.
Alleged Bigfoot and the Honey Island swamp monster tracks side by side.
Okay, first off.
It seems
Okay, yeah. So we got a lot of things going on here.
Bigfoot cast. No.
That is a 5th grade pottery class. You're molding it together, but you don't quite understand anatomy. You kind of get the general gist.
Yeah, no.
And the other one looks more so. I mean, I like the top. The top definitely looks like it's something. It could be an alligator cast.
Yeah.
And then something was added to the bottom because the detail just goes all to shit.
Yeah.
On the bottom of that thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the front end of it where the claws are, and I think it's interesting that he pointed out that it looks like an alligator.
Slee stacks. We're dealing with slee stacks. Land of the Lost.
Oh, jeez. I was like, what? Oh, crap. But yeah, that doesn't even look like the back end of a foot. So, or maybe they I hate to say this, but maybe they stuck their boot in there and then smoothed out the tread, which is why there is no detail whatsoever in that. but it's still roughly footish, I guess, shaped. I don't know. I hate to be like that, but the other one is just complete bullshit. Sorry, Bigfoot people. I bet you could.
I like the top of the one on the right. That definitely looks like some sort of creature. It's either a well-made replica or an actual cast of a creature.
Yeah.
That almost looks too good, like it might have been cast on the creature. Like actually taking the foot.
I'm a little like the way the claws are. It doesn't look right.
It's upside down.
Yeah.
It's like this, but now we're looking at it like this.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. Do you want anything else before I?
That if this is the same creature, it is adapted to this environment. So
That's what I love. But in his
find
mind, they are both
Well,
authentic.
on another hunting trip, 1970.
And then, of course, that's not how adaptation works, especially over the span of would have been 5,000 years tops, maybe 10,000 years.
Gashed out.
Lamar,
blood was all over the place. And then they thought, well, maybe a gator might have done that.
Wouldn't a gator carry it off?
The gator would drag it down to its den, probably.
Right.
How did he scare it off?
Ready to eat it right then. But then they saw these tracks.
Because he went, "Go on, get!"
Or was killed, and it was slashed in the throat, but not eaten or carried away.
It wasn't carried away or eaten.
I find that really curious, don't you?
Yeah. He thought it might have been a territorial thing.
Right.
So Bigfoot kills for not food?
What kind of horrible creature would just slit another creature's throat and leave it there in the woods and not do anything with it?
You mean besides
living
humans?
out in the swamp.
Oh, humans. Yeah, there's also
Giants all these years and being out there.
And cats.
Something could go undiscovered for a long time.
The cats do that because they plan to come back and eat it.
I really like that theory.
Except house cats, they're just assholes.
Sure, is that this creature and Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it, that's been seen thousands of times, could possibly be something called Gigantopithecus. Gigantopithecus is basically a large ape-like creature that lived back in the Pleistocene. We have fossils of it.
He's got his theory, and he just wants to go with it. And this lady's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
And also, it's not an ape-like creature. It is an ape creature. It is an ape. We have to look up some Gigantopithecus because it's a real thing. But was it even in the human tree?
I don't know. We need a paleo anthropologist on to answer that question. But here's the PSA. Once again, we need to do PSAs with these things. When we say ape-like creatures, Homo sapien sapien is an ape. Okay, we are apes. We are the 5th grade ape.
I ain't no monkey's uncle. Wait.
Monkeys are not apes. Don't you see Planet of the Apes, the remake? They make it very clear.
I will say, I didn't care for the movie too much, but I did enjoy the costumes. Those were really well done, I think. And the one scene where the 2 apes are getting it on, and she comes out in her sultry outfit, and then she starts going, ooh, and I was like, I can't not laugh at that because that's kind of how that works.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry. So Walter's got his theory. He's going to start hammering it into shape.
But where did the Templars come in?
They're Viking, Templar, Celtic Gigantopithecus. That's how they got to America before the Native Americans and brought the hooked X with them.
And to be fair, I mean, there's a nice Twitter feed where I found a Scott Walter meme referencing. It's all I attached it to your. From yesterday, which is referencing. But I'm disappointed. That was the only meme I could find online about America Unearthed and Scott Walter. I think the meme game for this show needs to be improved. That tells me that there's not a public interest in this.
I was going to say that just kind of tells you that nobody's watching it. Which says
also,
something about no one's watching these either.
When I searched for America Unearthed on YouTube, really quickly I bumped into our videos.
If you hit the Twitter hashtag America Unearthed, our stuff pops up first too. So sorry, not sorry. Anyway,
Scott, you should be happy. We apparently are your only fans.
Apparently, #1 fan. Oh God, Walter. All right.
And we know that it lived And we just
The
assume
problem is you just can't
disappeared.
take this episode
Now, that's
serious
been
in
done many
any way,
times.
shape, or
People
form, so
made
it's very hard to
assumptions
stay
that creatures
focused on
had
it.
disappeared, but they found out later that, in fact, they didn't. Every year, around 15,000 new species are discovered.
Yeah,
and
but
some
that
are
doesn't mean
rediscovered, like the
Gigantopithecus.
coelacanth. This 2-meter-long fish was thought to have gone extinct
It
So how
lived
come-
in the ocean. It's not the
100
same
million
thing.
years
So
ago.
how come when they do this bullshit argument on ancient aliens, I'm just laughing? I think I'm just giggling, and when Scott does it, I kind of feel sad for him. It's like, man, is that all you got, man? It's kind of weak.
Okay, I need to back up and we need to watch the Alien episode together. Even though I've already watched it once, I need to have you watch it with me again. I feel like that will answer some of these questions that you have.
Well, in 1938, off the southern coast of Africa.
I don't know about well, but
But
it's
you have another
alive.
piece of evidence I'd love to see. It's a video, right?
Yep, we have a 8mm movie reel that my
It's not a
grandma
video, it's a movie.
belongings after he passed away.
So this
What's
is
the
it.
difference?
This is the film of the Honey Island swamp monster.
Yeah.
Can we take a look? All right.
Can you convert it into a digital format so it'll actually be preserved for future generations to come?
No, we're being hipsters here, all right? We're gonna play it grainy
Oh
on a
my god,
screen
I'm watching Sinister again.
So
with too
this
much light in the room.
Video.
where he obviously is in a boat going upriver.
Right.
There's the tree blind where he was sitting.
Okay. So normally he would use that as for hunting, right?
Mhm.
Okay, but he was up there. Oh, is this the creature here? Oh, there it is. Look at there.
I don't have words for how bad that was.
Well, first off, we don't have the great thing called provenience.
Well, I think that's what the tree blind is supposed to be. So many problems. Also, isn't the guy in the ape suit been debunked? Like the original Bigfoot thing been debunked?
No. Every good debunking just opens up more questions.
I was gonna say,
The guy who was supposedly wearing the suit admitted it like before his death or something like that. But other guys on that same trip are saying that he's just lying.
well, he's dead now, so he can't
Right.
defend himself.
See, this is where you need, I think, you're more knowledgeable into the lore, Bigfoot experts. Into
Yeah,
the lore of the woo.
I need Blake and Jeb.
Yeah.
I think maybe even Ken. I don't know. Bigfoot's not my thing. I think it's stupid, so I don't.
I come into this more as Bigfoot as a cultural phenomenon, not into the insight world of the crazy people who are part of the carnival show that make it real.
Like, I'm trying to be very nice about this with the woman because, like, obviously I'm sorry, Scott's full of shit just in general. In my opinion, Scott is full of shit. But I'm trying to be kind of like open-minded about the woman because, like, I understand oral history and, social and cultural pressure and phenomena. So I can't tell her that her father's experience is invalid and that he didn't see what he thinks is Bigfoot. And I don't have any reason to be like, nah, this whole thing's fake and it's fake and he knew it was fake. I don't have the ability to do that. So I'm trying to be like, okay, she really thinks this is a Bigfoot cast and that this is a video of Bigfoot. I don't think Walter does. And the reason I say that is because he just straight up questioned the Bigfoot footprint right off the bat. And he does that when he doesn't like something
Right.
or it doesn't fit his narrative. So I don't think Walter's buying this particular footprint. I don't know about the video because we haven't watched past the clip yet. I don't know. I don't know what I was going with that, but anyway. I guess I'm just trying to be culturally sensitive to this woman and her
Plus, it just seems weird that the story has gone so small. There's no build-up. There's no pretext to this. There's no let's look at newspaper reports and sort of other medias and then narrow in and down. It's like, hey, I got a tip from somebody that somewhere out here in the bayou, there's been swamp monster sightings, and I'm going in. There's just, it's
Wait,
once again, it gets very procedural looking, like a monster. It's a monster of the week episode. Is what this is, and that's the way to look at this.
Yeah, it's like they ran out of material anyway. But then I went back and did a thing, and he's done a Bigfoot episode every season. So
Bigfoot is money, all right. Bigfoot and aliens are money. You do Bigfoot, especially as a one-off, like the series. I have not seen Finding Bigfoot because I figure if you're 3 seasons in and you haven't found him yet, there's some false advertising going on.
It's kind of how I feel about Oak Island, but all right, let's watch the rest of this tragedy. Swamp camp.
And yeah, there seems to be a little bit of rural porn going on here too.
Yeah,
in there. Okay. All right. Look at this. Do you see the head? I mean, you can see this creature. It has a conical shaped head, a little rise at the top, and the face is sticking out. They actually call that mid-face prognatism. Apes have mid-face prognatism, where the front of the face, the nose, and the mouth stick out. I see what looks like an ape or a gorilla, but it walks like a man, and it could very well be Gigantopithecus. This could be a survivor of what was thought to be an extinct species. This is really compelling. Well, this is incredible, but this isn't going to be enough to prove that the swamp monster exists.
You're right.
We need to find irrefutable evidence.
So you're going to go out there and look for it?
I'm just getting started. Harlan's film is exciting, but it's 39 years old. There's a much newer piece of evidence I need to check out. In fact, it's the main reason I decided to start investigating the Honey Island swamp monster. The eyewitness thinks he caught the monster on thermal video, but did he?
What's thermal video going to tell you other than there's a warm-bodied thing moving around?
Well, depending on the clarity of it, you might be able to see an actual shape of a creature. But once again, you'll lose all revealing what size is the creature.
Oh yeah, we're using a drone.
Oh yeah.
Does it have a GoPro?
That's pretty impressive. All right. So I have to ask you, do you use the drone to look for the Honey Island swamp monster?
The drone there is just a tool in my arsenal.
Well, it's obvious to me that you take this.
MK Davis, you are my new hero.
Swamp monster.
The drone there is just a tool in my arsenal.
Hangs around long enough, there's usually something to it.
Oh,
so what you're trying to do is take the Honey Island swamp.
I want to watch his show.
Right?
From the mythological category.
Shut up. Put that man back on the screen.
We share this planet with a lot of things. Some things that are not known.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Take the giant squid.
Take my wife, please.
I have nothing to say about the giant squid, but I have got to find this picture. So apparently, giant tentacle monsters, like the squid, were a thing for sailors because they would see weird shit out in the ocean and they had no idea what they were looking at. Well, apparently there has been some video that has been collected now of whales, and they do it in groups. And so while the males are waiting their turn, they roll over on their backs and sunbathe their penises. And whales have very big ones. And this picture is obscene, but it's just all of these whale penises hanging out in the sea, and it looks like a tentacle monster. And it's like, that's where that comes from. So please take the kraken and remember the whale penis and go from there.
So those cartoons I may have accidentally watched one of those times might not have been that far off base.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Yes. The anime none of us will admit to watching, but all of us have seen. Yes. All right, back to the giant squid.
First described in the 4th century BCE, it took until now, in the 21st century, for the elusive sea creature to finally be photographed. There's little doubt now, the Scandinavian sailors who feared what they called the kraken a legendary man-eating sea monster, actually saw a giant squid? What if the Honey Island swamp monster and other Bigfoot-type creatures are just like the giant squid, real but elusive? So I understand you have a video that I would like to see, a thermal image?
Right, I have a thermal image that was taken last November. What I believe could possibly be the swamp monster.
This man
Why don't
is
we go in there and
precious.
take a look?
What I believe possibly could be. Sounds like me writing a report.
Oh, look, he's got a foot cast.
Well, I can see you have spent an awful lot of time doing research on Bigfoot and the swamp monster. You've got quite a collection here.
Well, thank you.
MK and I believe the swamp monster is related to other Bigfoot-type creatures. I think they're descendants of a primate that lived in Asia thousands.
Yeah, you keep saying that.
Gigantopithecus
He says it
was
enough
discovered
times, then
in
it's real.
1935 when its molars were found in a Chinese pharmacy among fossilized bones and teeth used to make medicine.
That should not surprise
Even though
anyone.
scientists 3D printed a possible Gigantopithecus in 2013, no real skeleton has ever been found. Only teeth, jawbones, and fossils. One theory is that giant porcupines, which chewed on bones for calcium, ate up all the Gigantopithecus bones.
I don't have words for that. I don't have words for that. That is wow. Only Gigantopithecus bones. Like it's well documented in the annuals of bullshit paleoanthropology that giant porcupines only ate Gigantopithecus bones. They were the only bones that they're like pandas. And that is why we don't have giant porcupines anymore, because all of the Gigantopithecus died.
I want to start rumors that the southern United States is full with giant porcupines.
All right. I'm there. I got this cat. Let's do this. God. I was going to say, so you're basing your entire idea of what a Gigantopithecus looks like off of a possible not accurate skeleton, because the Gigantopithecus skeleton is literally based off of a couple teeth and a jawbone. The rest of it is guesswork. I wouldn't accept that as any kind of accurate anything.
Don't worry. I'm sure if we go to the webpage for the show and we check out the very long citation section, we'll find out what report he actually got that information from.
Bill, I hate to break this to you. Yeah.
This man's a scientist.
Man is a scientist. The difference between science and fucking around is writing shit down, kids. Anyway, back to our giant bone-eating giant porcupine.
Now that's the story I want to hear by the other dude, CK.
MK.
MK, talk to me about giant porcupines for the rest of the episode. I'll be happy.
I would too, actually. MK, you need your own show, bud.
You have some pictures. I'd like to see those pictures.
Yeah, right here. So let me get them. Now get ready. These are sort of graphic.
Oh my God.
It's a blur.
Pigs. What happened?
Ran into the swamp monster.
What?
Oh my God. They're just
Okay, to be fair, they're not that bad.
This is disgusting.
Really?
Could a bear have done this or some other?
Have you never seen an animal kill?
I'm just like, okay, I have to call bullshit. Those pictures of the pigs grosses him out, but like his stupid little horror movies at the beginning of most of these episodes can be incredibly graphic and incredibly violent, and he's not bothered by those. But these pigs, there's not even anything really in the image. They look very clean, honestly. And he's like, oh God, oh, like, have you never come across a deer in the woods that got shot and ate? I mean,
yeah, I mean, they look suspiciously clean. It definitely gives me a human vibe to it.
Yeah.
A human with a knife.
Yeah, I mean, stuff's not pulled out or scattered everywhere. I mean, I've seen deer kills wild animal deer kills that are way grosser than that. Because I work in the woods, everybody. That's what happens.
Yeah, when you walk around the woods, you see animal kills, and you'll be like, "Hey, is that a leg? Hey, is that the torso?
I know, right?
Whoa, what's that? I think that's a head. No, that's not all of it because the ear's over here."
30 feet later, oh, I found the tail.
That's how an animal kill actually looks like in the woods.
Yeah, it's all over the damn place.
It's a horror show.
Filled out. Yeah, it's the first time you come across one, you have this reaction. Not anyway. My cats are literally climbing the wall. Knock it off.
The local creature?
I don't think so. Bears tend to just make a mess of things. You know, they just consume it, break bones, crunch it up.
They would have eaten something.
Yeah, this was done differently. It was like, pull apart, with force like this, and the cavity exposed, and then the entrails pulled out.
Like
how
an
did you
animal
find
would
the
do?
pigs?
I just walked up on them.
Well, you must have been shocked when you
I
saw
was shocked. I was very shocked. That gave me the creeps, sure enough. I've never seen anything like
I
that.
don't doubt that's
This
creepy.
reminds me of Jack the Ripper. This is exactly what he did.
Oh,
Well,
Jack
there
the
you
Ripper
go.
did it.
But
Jack the Ripper was Bigfoot, which is why they can't find him.
Jack the Ripper was Bigfoot, and since we know that Jack the Ripper is Conan Doyle because he told us that,
Conan Doyle was Bigfoot.
Conan Doyle was Bigfoot.
But I'm waiting for Ghost Bigfoot to come in. Because the sort of spin in more recent times has been to sort of the Bigfoot as more ethereal
This is
creature.
the whistling bell noise thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
He can like teleport or something.
which is a good way of explaining why you can't see him and can't find him and stuff.
Well, there's also this teapot that circles the sun, but it's invisible and undetectable. But it's there. Anyway.
No wonder.
If you're so disturbed by these
Well, there
pictures,
was
why do you
something-
keep showing them?
Oh my God! Do you see this? Do you
Damn.
see this?
Look
in
at
their
this, it's
place
horrible.
was a skull of a pig.
Oh my God.
There are wild pigs in
That is
Louisiana. There are wild pigs in Alabama.
Do you think it was leaving a message of some type? I don't
That it
know.
eats pigs. I've got to learn to time my tirades to go along with his breaks here.
We're now in Mississippi.
Yazoo City.
So you're saying
Oh, in
that when
Mississippi,
you
yes.
came back the
That's
next
where
day,
Graham
both
K
the
lives.
boars were gone and a skull left in their place, but they're not of the pigs.
It's an older skull. It's been long ago cleaned.
The mutilated wild pigs M.K. Davis found are just like the one Harlan Ford found when he was hunting the swamp monster. But these bodies were replaced with a single clean pig skull, almost like some sort of message. It could be the work of the Honey Islands.
The message is fuck pigs.
Okay, if what they found was
Is accurate.
I would think a more likely scenario is that some sick fucking human, maybe future or current psychopath, mutilated these animals in the woods and then like left the skull there being super edgy.
Extra edgy.
Extra edgy.
I would like to point out the logic flaws because that's what I do. And we have no guarantee that these pictures were all taken in the same space. There's no kind of provenience marker. There's nothing to tell us that these are the exact same locations. And I mean, if there were two bodies that were picked up and removed and blah, those leaves would have been bloody. Those leaves would have been moved around. It was a very clean scene, almost, I would say, staged, but that's my opinion.
I'm giving the benefit of the doubt that the staging could have been done before they walked upon the scene.
That's
Before
true,
he walked
too.
upon the scene.
Somebody's
But the
fucking with little MK there.
But the skull itself would have been valuable evidence to see whether or not the skull itself had been butchered or not, whether or not it's,
Yeah, and I don't think people understand how quickly something can deflesh in the wild, especially in nasty climates. Like, I'm sorry, I don't like the bayou. Gross there. It's also incredibly moist, and it's teeming with life and things that eat things and kill things. So
So in archaeology, we have the term taphonomy, which is sort of the study of the rate of decay of things. It's among other things, but rate of decay is sort of the big one it goes under. And when I was in undergrad, we watched this one video. It was a pig skull that was left out in the woods. Within 30 days, was picked clean to the bone by a family of squirrels.
Oh, I know. Squirrels are bastards.
It was like they tore that thing apart. They picked it clean. It was a time lapse photo, and it was possibly one of the most. You want to talk about disturbing and nightmare fuel? Watch a bunch of squirrels, deflesh a skull.
No, I'm good. I'm good. But now I have that image in my head.
If I find the video, I'll put it up online so you can all watch it.
And the sad part is I'll watch it. So I have a lot of room to talk. All right, back to our mysterious pig hating. What message? Anyway.
Swamp monster. But why?
And that's the scary part of it. You don't know what motivated it or why it did it. I wanted to get out of there when I saw this because, I didn't want to be the next victim.
You know what I'd really like, though,
clearly
is to
it was
see
going
those
after
thermal
humans.
images, the video that you have. Can we look at that?
Sure, I've got them on the computer.
Okay, all right. Okay, let's take a look here.
All right, let me play it. Thermal imaging opens up a lot of things. There it is off in the distance.
I love how tech savvy this guy is.
So is that the creature?
That's it.
MK sees the Honey Island swamp monster, but I'm not sure what I'm seeing.
Now, this is at night. That's not a light image. That's a thermal image. That's a warm body. You can't know for certain, but I'm kind of inclined to think that we're looking at a primate.
Okay, here's kind of an off-the-wall question. How do you know it wasn't another human?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know that. It'd be kind of ridiculous for a human to be across there, but I was out there.
So what part of the body?
This would be the front, and this would.
Oh, yes, please draw us pictures so that we can see what you see. I like the idea that it's just two different Bigfoot hunters and they just spotted each other. Because, somewhere else there's some other guy's like, I was out there and I saw this thing.
So you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised to know that I'm fairly disappointed. Well, when we thought thermal images, I was expecting like a FLIR camera. Like real thermal imaging,
like red and green and heat.
Red, green, the real heat signatures, thermal thing where something moving with those kind of heat signatures.
I mean, it is a real thermal camera. It just happens to be like probably the less expensive version that is black and white. I mean,
this is like the low grade version of all that.
Why are you being judgy?
I know. I'm being classist now when it comes to Bigfoot researchers.
You know what? Do you have a thermal camera?
No, I don't.
Well, then there you go.
I'm gonna go walk off into the swamp now.
Sadly, with your backpack.
Nope, I'm outside, so there's no backpack.
It's too logical to have a backpack outside. Why would I do that?
I need to move. I need to be able to move.
In case the Bigfoot comes to get you.
Yes.
Would be the rear leg coming down like this.
How?
So it's crouched.
Just crouched down low behind some
What?
brush.
No.
Crouch.
There you go.
That's what Harlan Ford said he saw the monster do in 1963.
But yet it's not
The
crouching.
eyewitnesses I spoke to said they saw it do the same thing.
It crouches, then stands up.
Between standing on all
Like a
fours
bear.
and walking on 2 feet. MK doesn't think the creature in the video is a bear, since it never moved. And bears are normally shy and try to avoid humans. They run from perceived threats or climb trees.
Like
How did
stand
this
up to
whole
look and
video
then
take
run
place?
away.
Tell me about
like
that
in the
night.
camera.
Last November 3rd. I was with some friends, and they have a little hunting dog, and we would have never known it was there if it hadn't been for the dog. The dog is pulling against the leash, and he's pointing.
Okay, MK has got quite the setup there because I just saw, not to be ironic, a Blue Yeti microphone, which is one of the better recording microphones for like home studio kind of recording.
I know. I keep looking for one on sale. I got my blue snowball right here.
They don't go on sale very often. You kind of just have to suck it up. If you wait for around Christmas time, they will, because that's when I bought my partner's. But my point being, MK's doing something. He's got like film editing software. He's got his high quality recording. I'm betting this man has either a YouTube channel or a podcast, and I need to find it.
So he's the competition, is what you're saying.
Well, I mean, it's always been a competition. My show's better than your show. Your show's better than anyway.
And so I'll get out the thermal gear, and that's when we saw it.
Okay.
The Choctaws, they call him Shemp.
Shemp. What is Shemp?
That's a monster. And the Shemp is supposed to have a terrible odor. The Choctaws, their origins say they came from land.
Spoiler, he will not speak to any Choctaw during this episode.
Followed them.
The legend of the Choctaw and Shemp, coming from lands to the west, could refer to ancient migration across the Bering Strait land bridge.
Why would you
Historians
even
say
make
early
that
humans
leap?
crossed the exposed land bridge, an easy route between Asia and North America.
So
My theory, if humans could migrate on this path, why couldn't Gigantopithecus?
because it didn't
Maybe this
exist.
is how the precursor of Bigfoot and the Honey Island swamp monster came to our continent long ago.
Does that mean the giant porcupine has been following it still? That means a giant porcupine still exists because it keeps eating the bones, which is
Fair.
why even now we can't find the bones.
Fair. You just solved so many problems.
So
for
we've
them.
been looking for the wrong thing. We need to be looking for giant porcupines. And once we find giant porcupines, we will then find Bigfoot.
We'll just find the porcupine gnawing on a boat. He'll walk up. It'll be like, nah. Oh.
We've been looking for the wrong thing the whole time.
How do you find a giant porcupine? Like,
Well, we haven't tried. That's what's been the problem.
I also want to point out, he's got no freaking clue how the Bering Strait thing works.
No,
Like,
no whatsoever. It's a thing he's heard.
it clearly is, because that is not how that works. Like, does he think it was just always ice until recently?
That's probably borrowed graphics from another History Channel show.
I think it's borrowed graphics from his own. Anyway, we are 20 minutes. We haven't even made it halfway through this show yet. We can do this. I believe in us.
You know, that sounds like a perfect story for me to go investigate.
Look at all that
next.
stuff MK's got, though.
Yeah.
Seriously. Panther swamp.
I believe legends hide secret truths. And
I
I'm
don't.
betting the story of the Shemp in swamps all across the South may be an important clue in my
You
quest to
heard
find
one
the
guy
swamp
talk about
monster.
Sham.
So I
How is that
needed an
all
old
across
friend,
the South?
Tim Hall,
Because the Choctaw were doing this.
in North American folklore. And if anyone can help me unlock this legend's secrets,
It's this white guy who is clearly not Choctaw. Either that or I am not, again, going to acknowledge the tribe that the man belongs to. But at least they mentioned Choctaw.
it's him. Well, Tim,
Unfortunately, it was done in past tense.
Great seeing you, Scott.
tell me a little bit about the Choctaw.
Hey, that's the crazy dude.
I have so many issues.
He's a repeat. He's a repeat. He was in the Appalachian episode. I happened to catch the Appalachian Giants episode in preparation for this.
Dude, oh my god. This is our Native American expert?
Yeah, an Appalachian storyteller.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, go back to the Appalachian Giant story, and this guy is prominent in that investigation.
Oh my god.
I enjoy the callbacks.
Yes, he has a stable of experts that he just kind of rotates through. Anyway, all right, back to this cringe.
Choctaw legend of the Shemp.
Well, Shemp is a monster. The legend
is he
goes that
wearing?
he was a big hairy beast. Stands about 7 foot tall. He is very, very aggressive.
No, I'm sorry,
And
that's too
Shemp
much.
will go and leave warnings for people that come into his area.
He's got
So
a promotion.
if
That's
his
so,
area, he'll go ahead
is that
and
a
roast
tail?
them and
Does
kill.
he have a dead
animal
rat
meat
in his
as a
hat?
warning
Like
to you
the
not
whole
to go any
fucking
further.
thing?
This reminds me of the pictures of eviscerated pigs MK showed me. And
These
Harlan
horrible
Ford
pictures. Oh
found
my
the
god, they're
same
so horrible.
thing.
Look at
But that's
them!
not the only
And
similarity.
besides, you didn't even think about aliens. Mutilated animals, please. That's aliens first and foremost.
Well,
Did
they
anyone
don't have.
check their rectums?
Wow.
Hey, that's alien.
Aliens in the
This is high tech. This is not for the squeamish here. This is for the real alien researchers. All right.
They only have skunk apes, skunk bear apes, and sham, which I think should be your first clue someone's pulling your legs.
At first, I thought he said
what's a sham? It's a monster.
Monster sham.
Sham sure sounds like that other word. Nope, wrong sham. That's a H-A-M. Anyway.
Oh, the smell that comes from them is tremendous. It is so much so
I can't deal with this guy.
Can't take it.
So, I keep hearing about this bad smell thing. I mean, why do they smell bad? What's that all about?
Sham smells bad because he sleeps with his victims. It is the smell of rotting flesh.
What?
That makes him smell so bad.
Did we?
Well, that's pretty gross.
Did we just connect him to
Based on this
necrophilia?
description you've given me, this sounds an awful lot like the Honey Island swamp monster.
Really? Because where is the story of the honey? What? I can't do.
That's what the Native Americans are telling us right now.
When you go back that far,
that's what they're telling us right now.
This was a time of giant.
I think they're telling you shit.
Huge mammals like mammoths and mastodons. Prevailing theory is that they migrated over from Asia across the Bering Strait land bridge 10 to 15,000 years ago when the glaciers were at their maximum, ocean levels were lower, and that bridge was exposed. Humans also took this track. So my thesis is that
and he doesn't understand that there was megafauna in North America before the land bridge.
Now down here, maybe what we're seeing here is the survivors of that species that just
he also is talking like it was a one-way thing, like things only came into America.
Now just re-emerging when it wants to, but really it is a scientific species that was long thought to be extinct.
Look, even this guy's like, survive. Okay,
and these
crazy.
And I'm a professional bullshitter. And
exactly. How can I use this in my stories?
The stories are oral stories. They memorized them and told the story again.
This dude lives in a McMansion in a cul-de-sac.
Monster.
It's like those duck guys.
Yeah.
My plan? Spend a night in the swamp alone, armed with trail cameras and bait. Hopefully, I can lure the swamp monster in to see it with my own eyes.
I was wondering when an experiment would happen, and this is, I guess, what we're going to get.
Professional cryptozoologist Ken Gerhardt to help me get ready for a swamp monster day.
You need professionals. Wait a minute. If that's what I think I've seen that fool before too. Man, there's only like 5 people to do any of this kind of weird stuff, and they just interchanged everybody else's shows.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised Walter hasn't popped up on other people's shows as an expert. He probably has, and I just haven't caught it. So, but yeah, you've seen this Gerhardt guy before.
Yeah, I can recognize a stupid hat.
Do they really think we all wear hats like that?
The try-hard leather hat.
Thanks for joining me today.
God, it's a pleasure to be here, man.
Today I'm here to try to collect some
serious
serious hard evidence. I've seen videos. I've talked to first-hand witnesses. All of that's great, but really, if we're going to get to the bottom of this Honey Island swamp monster, I need to document.
Scott can't wear a hat. His hair looks too good.
Hopefully we'll drive this thing out to the open.
Did he used to wear a hat?
Be careful.
He'll wear a hat every now and then, but it's not like his thing. Does he have his backpack?
Type creatures. The Honey Island swamp
does not.
Is highly aggressive compared to other Bigfoot type creatures that I've investigated.
I mean, has this thing been known to attack people?
There's no actual accounts of it attacking people. But for example, there are some stories of people disappearing here in the swamp without a trace.
Really?
Yeah, there was an old guy named Ted Williams who had a lot of sightings of the swamp monster on his property. And the guy vanished one day while he was running some trout lines.
So there isn't.
So the old guy went out trout fishing in the swamp and didn't come home one day.
But he liked to talk about the swamp monster a lot.
Yeah, ergo Bigfoot.
I don't know. Also, in my research for the show, I was on Amazon looking for books on Bigfoot, and I found a lot of books that dealt with human Bigfoot interactions.
I was gonna say, I thought there were lots of accounts of Bigfoots attacking humans.
Oh no, this wasn't attacking.
Oh, this is going back to that sleeps with his victims thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh God.
There's a whole genre of it. There's a whole genre of Bigfoot / fic out there.
Well, and now I know where you went. So
I am doing research.
Research. Actually, I should use dirty quotes. Research. Wow. What do you think the chances are Walter's gonna find Bigfoot? Well, I gotta stop. All right.
An aggressive speech to this thing.
The thing will be whether actually has anything he can even pretend to show us, or is he going to go pure ghost hunters? What? Huh? What? I hear something over there. What? Huh?
I mean, you've already seen
that.
That's just taken out. I mean, you know what's gonna happen. Speaking of which, Ghost Hunters is coming back. I'm excited.
I am too. I saw that.
Reunited. Anyway, well, we can do this. We got half an episode left. We can do this.
Frosty? No, alert.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Frosty. Okay.
so just be aware of your surroundings.
Stay frosty, buddy. Yeah.
And also very
Yes,
aggressive.
you should totally make fun of that guy's colloquialisms.
So you consider this a dangerous animal, right?
But it's a beast. It's an animal, and so we have to approach it as such.
Well, if you take a look
It's a
here,
beast.
we've got several little X's I put on here where sightings. People have said this is where I saw the swamp monster. Each of these X's marks a spot where someone I interviewed in recent weeks.
Tablet in the field, nerd.
There have been a lot of sightings
Right here.
That's
That's a shout out to Chris and Chris if they ever watched
I
this.
agree with you. I think it's time to
I
go.
wonder how long it takes before he drops it in the water.
I know he doesn't have it protected. There's no.
Yeah, it didn't have any protector thingy on it. That thing's days are numbered. Pearl River in Sidall, Louisiana. My family's not that deep south. We're Texas South, which is
After
different.
reviewing eyewitness accounts, cryptozoologist Ken Gerhard and I are on our way to a
I
remote
got me a gun.
swamp where the monster seems to be most active.
That is a big gun. To be fair, the alligators out there? Do they have alligators and crocodiles, or just alligators?
Over there, I think it's just going to be alligator. I think you have to get into Florida to find crocodiles as well. Once again, we need our southern thing. But that would also be a good gun if he was going to like do some duck hunting while Walter runs around in the woods.
Stop.
Yeah, you go over there. I'm gonna go do some hunting over here.
Stop. Anyway, I was gonna say, now that I know exactly where he is, I can't believe he went out at night, because that's when those things are supposed to be the most active, and they will grab you and pull you under, and I don't know.
Well, then that would be the most exciting thing to happen on the show.
That's true. Not that I'm wishing that on him at all. I've heard stories. This guy's hat is so out there. It's not as bad as the dudes, though.
Got her?
I like how even his personal protective vest is got to be black and edgy.
All right, you ready? Let's do this.
Dark like his soul. What are you doing besides making a mess? They're
Maybe
hunting.
I can finally prove that the creature the locals call the Honey Island Swamp Monster is actually a descendant of Gigantopithecus, a 10-foot tall, 1,000-pound prehistoric ape that I think might still live among us. But first, I need to turn an abandoned hunting blind into the base for my stakeout.
You don't get abandoned. It could be a poacher's nest.
All right, Ken, this
So
is
you
good.
should totally go mess with it,
All
because
right, what
we
do you
know what
think?
happens with abandoned
great
areas
spot, man.
in the woods.
It's not a high-priced hotel, but I'm hoping that it'll help me at least see the swamp monster from a good vantage point.
I think you got a sound strategy here. Find a spot, and obviously you want to stay hidden as much as possible.
That's the reason why I like the idea of getting up in this blind. Remember, Harlan Ford, he had a blind that he was up that he built himself. He had a good vantage point. He didn't have all the low brush in the way, and he really got a reasonably good shot with the film of the monster. He had success.
No, he didn't.
Maybe I will too. Step 1, we have to lure the swamp monster in, and that means bait.
What are you gonna bait an imaginary creature with? Eggs?
He's got a ham hock.
Does he? He does.
How about right
How do
there?
you know it's a meat
That's
eater?
perfect. We're looking for something 6 or 7 feet tall, right?
All right.
So that's too high for anything else in this area to access.
Do you think 25 pounds?
How do you know that the swamp monster is a meat eater?
Because you found those pigs with that have been slashed.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not saying that like primates don't eat meat because they do, but like, isn't it like the bigger the ape, the more likely they are actually to be an herbivore?
Also, you're being presumptuous to think that a gator couldn't get that high,
Oh yeah, man, those
or
jump.
or birds, or a bear,
Or squirrels.
or squirrels. They're the worst.
Squirrels are the worst. So I want to go. Just take my body out into the woods and let the squirrels strip it. Don't bury me. Anyway, this is terrifying.
A hog leg will do it. Many people talked about, boars and pigs being associated with the
Many
swamp
people.
monster.
There are many,
One
many
guy.
accounts of this thing allegedly killing or stalking.
You know, some people have allegedly said.
Bait for that.
Right.
Some people have allegedly said this entire show has been bullshit.
Foot of water.
Some people have
Some
said that.
I don't know who those are, but it
That's
has.
what
Set. My next step is to cover all directions of the approach with trail cameras. Reconics. Have you used
Pro
this
tip:
before?
don't pee
Oh,
in
yeah.
front of a tree with a trail
Checking a
camera.
high definition passive infrared sensor, high definition video, night vision, super fast trigger.
Once we finish,
I use it to catch pictures of Bigfoot all the time.
to
Right?
maximize my chance of success, I'm sending Ken to a nearby site. If he sees the monster before I do, he'll let me know. This is where we part.
By
I really appreciate your
doing
help.
the Bigfoot cry.
Good luck, Scott. I really do hope to see the swamp monster.
Yeah,
That'll be
he's going down river to do some actual duck hunting.
just in case.
He's going down the river to put the Bigfoot
Nah.
suit on.
I'm not here to kill it. I just want to see it.
It's going to go man to man with it.
Harry, fire it off. I'll be here as quick as I can, all right? Knock it out.
I don't even know what that scene was. No, I'm a pacifist. I'm a scientist. I don't use guns. Do you know how many archaeologists carry guns?
The ones out west, yeah, where there's animals that'll actually kill you.
Do I?
There's plenty of times I wish I would have, like going around the Appalachians by myself in bear country on top of a mountain.
I have heard shooting bear is really not that great of an idea because it kind of just pisses them off.
It's my tactic has always been to have the big shovel and to hope that I can use the shovel as not to beat it with it, but to keep it as a brace in between me and any creature I bump into.
I don't know, man. Turkey scared the shit out of me one day, so I'm good.
It's fawn. It's fawn that scare me because when they're hiding in the tall grass and you walk up to like within 2 feet of them and you can't see them, then all of a sudden they pop out.
And of course, they're just like all asses and elbows because they're trying to get away from you, and you're just like, "Oh God, it's a living thing!" And yeah, no, I understand 100%. Never been. The only thing that ever has like aggressively attacked me was I got chased by, I think it was a water moccasin, but it was a big black snake, and it chased me for 30 meters. And the only reason I know that is because I had walked up to where my next hole was supposed to be, and that goddamn thing chased me all the way from that hole all the way back to my old one. That's the only thing I've ever had really chase me. But anyway, back to our pacifist Bigfoot.
I think he just wants us to go out like a man. He's going to go one-on-one with it.
Well, he's not a pig, so he's probably good. Wouldn't it be great if he ran into like the serial murderer that's actually the person doing this to these poor pigs? Anyway.
Old man Jenkins.
And I would have got away with it too if it weren't for you darn kids and your trail cameras.
Okay, well, cameras are set. The leg is up, and I'm up here in the blind.
You think they cut the parts where you fell asleep?
I've got a clear shot of the pig leg. I can see all the cameras.
Are there lights on all the cameras?
Ready to go?
Ready to sit?
I think we're dealing with the classic like 50s, 60s monster movie thing where you actually film in low light, then you turn the light down to give it the appearance that you're at night.
I'm trying intentionally to have the honey
because he doesn't have his
swamp
headlamp
monster
on.
come here and confront me is
Like, what light is shining on him right now?
a little unnerving.
Well, if he's using an infrared camera, okay. Here's where I get to be my nerd. I used to ghost hunt. And we had infrared night cameras that we would use because when you go crawling around buildings in the dark, because reasons, you don't want the light to screw up your eyes, so you use an infrared camera. And that is what, when you have the camera directly on you, that's what it looks like. It's like a green or a white circle, and then it radiates around, and it doesn't give you very much view. Like,
it kind of. I'm also wondering whether there's a feel I get on his shots that that's a post production.
yeah, and also like
this shot that you stopped on right here looks like a infrared shot.
Yeah,
that looks like an infrared shot.
Flashlight that's an infrared flashlight, and it'll create a light beam for the camera to pick up. So,
but some of these other shots are looking like post production.
Yeah.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Which I am shocked would even be thought about in a show like this. It's a show with such integrity.
You're so nice.
Hey, I've only allegedly heard things.
Yeah.
Only allegedly. Have I told you my alleged thing? Yes, I have. No, that was... Never mind. I'll tell you in a minute.
I can't forget. He's in the trees as well, according to some witnesses.
Charlie's in the trees.
Okay. If an 800-pound creature is in a tree, you're going to hear it.
Yeah, it's 800 pounds. Hell, your ass can't walk through the woods quietly. Why do you think it's going to walk through the woods quietly?
If a raccoon's in a tree, you're going to hear it.
That's true. That's true.
Still hanging there.
I love the music.
I'll cut it up and make pork chops.
You're going to eat that thing after it's hung out in the swamp all night?
What's that?
You heard a twig break. There's no way the camera's picking that up.
Right, unless you also put microphones out in various locations.
Right?
Parabolic field mics or something to pick up sound.
That they just conveniently didn't mention. I want to know where they're getting their soundtrack from, because I want to use that on my videos sometime.
Oh, man. So will be coming up anytime. Guess we can't expect a home run the first night. All right.
Does that mean you're going to sit out here again? You know the swamps stink, right? Especially when you walk through the water.
It's all decayed organic matter.
And they really stink.
Yeah.
This is not a great episode.
No, I am disappointed. I mean, I got dressed up. I went on location. I was expecting.
I like that you went all the way down to Swampville, USA.
Yeah.
Like, how are the mosquitoes down there?
I'm just constantly just
dodging them.
Yes.
Too fast for the mosquitoes.
What the hell was that?
Well, that's a spider on a web. Yep, it's that leg you hung up there. That thing looks so gross.
What the hell?
It's the alligator run.
What does that smell?
It's the swamp, you idiot.
You've left rotting meat outside all night, and you're in a swamp.
I mean, you're in a swamp.
Did he just do a scream?
He fell. Maybe he did actually get attacked by an alligator.
Maybe if this is the last episode of the season, maybe he got eaten.
It's not.
Oh man.
Sorry.
Spoilers, he survived.
Unless they're really showing him out of order.
I fired a flare just before dawn to let Ken know to come join me.
No shit.
He's probably wondering if I spotted the Honey Island swamp monster, and I can't wait to tell him what I found.
I got a tire. And I found this stinky patch of water
You okay?
in a swamp.
Yeah, I'm okay.
What's up?
Yeah, I rushed over an hour later.
Well, you got here fast.
Right?
I just want you to know I think I made a pretty important discovery that I want to show you. But we're going to need that water jug. You want to grab it?
This one?
That one right there.
Okay.
It's so staged.
What? You just happen to have a big water jug right there. I don't.
It's the way they're talking to each other. Like, it's clearly staged.
So you probably wondered when I brought you out here. Let me tell
Yes,
you
I wondered why you brought me out here.
for sure the swamp monster was here. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I came
Wasn't that
down
water
here,
jug
I
full
was
of
standing
water
here,
earlier?
and then I smelled the smell. But I looked around and nothing. All of a sudden it dawned on me. It wasn't the swamp monster that smelled. It's the swamp.
Holy shit.
I
Holy shit. This is his big revelation?
just want to stop and let everyone absorb that for a moment.
I did this experiment in 7th grade biology class where we took a bunch of leaves and stuff like that and put it into a big pot of water. And we left it in the back of the class and we left it back there for weeks and weeks and weeks. Then some asshole, it might have been me, decided to stir it up one day and it stunk up the entire classroom.
Oh, that's fantastic, actually. I'm going to do that with my cousins next time I see them. Or my nephews. Yeah. I'm glad that it took him 35 minutes of my life to figure out that swamps stink. Not like we've been telling him that. I mean, I wish he could hear us, because then he would have known 2 minutes into the show. Anyway,
I have a
over it.
hunch that a naturally occurring and rancid-smelling gas might account for at least some of the swamp monster encounters,
Are you
including the one
kidding
I
me?
thought I was having last night. Let me show you something. Let's walk out here.
It's not like this is a mystery.
Wait a minute, is that a power line?
Now,
Is
what's
he on a power
happening
line?
here is you see all these plants?
Above
They're going to die
that one shot they were doing, I thought that almost looked like there was a line
over the
above their heads.
Eye up for it, unless
And
you
as
really
they
want me to back it up.
decompose,
But it
they
wouldn't
Okay.
surprise me.
carbon dioxide,
It is awfully clear
hydrogen
out there.
sulfide, and methane. What I want you to
Yep,
do is just reach
That's a power
over,
line.
put your right foot.
They're in a
So
corridor.
they're in a corridor.
They're in a corridor.
They are not as rugged and uncharted.
Okay, so most people don't understand what corridors are. I mean, unless they live near one, they probably don't know what power line corridors look like, or the fact that they've been cleared and cleared to the ground, cleared, and so all of this growth is brand new. Man, props to them for putting a power line corridor through there, though. Can you imagine the logistics of that?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure you had to. I mean, to get power into the swamp, you have to do that kind of crap. And
Can you imagine doing the survey of that?
I would hope that most of the survey is by boat. The big problem there would be the biologist and the environmentalist who are trying to do the natural resource survey.
Yeah.
That's got to be a pain. The archaeology is pretty easy. It's
So-
all underwater.
Probably not going to mess up too much. I don't know. I feel like we really need to start digging in the watered areas, but I have no idea how to do that. Don't ask me questions yet. I don't know. Anyway.
Louisiana archaeologists, leave your comments below.
That's true. Yeah.
And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and the little bell in the corner to be notified about when the next episode is going to be coming up.
Feels much.
A new show on my channel. So speaking of promotions.
I feel like we really could just cut this fucking episode right here and just, banter. Gee.
No, but I got to see if there's anything. We still have 7 minutes. Is this anything beyond, hey, sometimes swamp water stinks.
Swamps are stinky, you guys. All right.
Shit into the mud.
Wow. When they say swamp ass, they were basing it on something.
I want to point out that they dumped the water out of that water
Just
bottle
anywhere.
Okay, I'm getting stuck.
so that they could fill that
It
fucking
is a
thing
swamp,
up.
Scott.
All right.
Okay.
So going forward, with each step, Ken is forcing tiny bubbles of gas up to the surface of the swamp, and I'm capturing them. So here's what I'm going to do. I want you to light that. All right, and then hold it on this end when it comes up, and watch what
Light my
happens.
fingers.
Whoa.
Look at that.
Whoa, that's crazy.
It's called methane.
That's swamp
It
magic.
happens
Here,
when
let me put it
set-
down.
Whoa!
Your
Water.
decaying organic matter is methane gas.
Yeah.
And there you go. Huh. I thought I encountered the swamp monster, but all I encountered was swamp gas.
Yeah.
That is your smell, that horrible smell that people think is coming from
Do they have
the
smells
swamp
down there?
monster. It's coming from
Also-
the
Yeah, Skunks down there, yeah.
foul smell.
Also, to build on the theory that we've been making, which is a lot more entertaining than anything the show has done, porcupines smell. They have a very pungent musk, very akin to a skunk. So maybe what they're actually smelling are the giant porcupines that are eating the Gigantopithecus bones.
You know what? I can't argue with that. That's science.
It's flawless logic.
Hydrogen sulfide gas is a plausible explanation for some of the
You
stories.
could have asked 2 local teenage boys and they would have told you this.
Something out there.
What he remembered
Could they, though?
most was the eyes.
It was walking upright. I don't know too
They would
many.
have let set fire in the swamp.
My swamp gas discovery might resolve many of the Honey Island swamp monster encounters, but it doesn't explain MK's thermal video or the mutilated animals, much less Harlan's 8mm film.
You know, one thing I
All
know.
right. So let me get like somewhat serious here. So there is a very strong colonialist air that is going on here with Scott, who is coming into this land, into this Louisiana area, basically lecturing the local people that no, your mythical creature isn't what you think it is. It is simple science, and here I'm doing science for you because none of you people around here understand simple science. Let me, the outsider from the great north, come down into the south to tell you on how the world actually works. So there is a colonialist air. Well, I mean, between that and sort of the poverty porn that was going on earlier in the episode. There is a very colonialist angle to the presentation being done in the show here. Okay, now let's get back to goofiness.
A lot of these cryptid
It's not even
cases,
fun
they
goofiness,
involve
it's
a
just
lot of
disappointing
different
goofiness.
components. Sometimes there are actual sightings of an unknown animal, but then you have people, misinterpretation. Some people just make up stories.
Well, absolutely. Look, just because we've
Nobody
answered one
makes up
question in my mind about
stories.
what could be the smell that some of these people talked about doesn't mean that the swamp monster doesn't exist. We've got video, we got footprints, we've got eyewitness accounts, and those are pretty compelling.
Absolutely.
Are they though? Fish house?
It's time to go meet Dana. I still believe the swamp monster might be out there, but I'm curious to hear what she thinks of my swamp gas theory as an element of some accounts, though not necessarily her grandfather.
I shit you not. I have stayed at the hotel that is attached to that. Like, not that exactly, but I have been to the hotel that has that bar. Anyway, I'm over it.
Fathers.
Swamp gas chili.
Well, hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. The account of your grandfather was really compelling to me, so I thought the best way that I could investigate this was to replicate what your grandfather did, to actually set up a blind, go
night.
into the swamp,
I did.
spend
One
the
night.
night.
That's
And
cool.
it was cool, but it was a little creepy.
Creepy.
At one point, honestly, I thought I had encountered the swamp monster. For a moment, I thought, he's here. What do I do? But then I thought about it, and I figured out what it was.
What?
It wasn't the swamp monster. It was the swamp. Swamp gas.
Wait.
That's what I smelled.
The swamp is the monster.
It's the perfect hiding place. It's hiding in plain sight. He was there the whole time.
He is all of it. Anyway. It's very meta.
I think that probably some of those accounts, not all of them, but some of them probably was swamp gas. Let me ask you, and I'm being serious now.
I wasn't before.
Right?
Do you really believe the swamp monster exists?
Why are you asking her this now?
And why are we cutting the break? No, I think my granddad was full of shit, but it's it's a family story and we like it.
Right, exactly. It's a good story. I'm sticking with it.
I mean, right there, Louisiana swamp gas, chili swamp gas. Everybody knows about swamp gas.
It's almost like they're aware of this thing.
I've spent too many years researching myself and then meeting so many people that had similar encounters.
These stories are all consistent. The footprints, the eyewitness accounts.
I think that swamp's big enough to have something go undetected, for years.
I like that the only way,
and then every now and then someone stumble upon it.
The only way that she is validated, and this is why it goes back to the whole like constant sexism through this entire show. The only way that this woman is validated in this show as any kind of an expert is that she is the granddaughter of the man who saw all this stuff. And so by proxy, she is the authority on this Bigfoot thing. But she is not an authority in her own right. She is not somebody, she's not so-and-so Bigfoot authority or cryptozoologist or any of the other fancy titles he gives to the people who come on his show. She is so-and-so's granddaughter.
She's the conduit of his story. Now, one thing I'm, if I care enough to start going back on these things in here, I would be curious to start doing a tally of people of color in these shows, because we're in Louisiana.
I don't think there's anybody who isn't white in that scene there. But I also don't think, I think when he does bar scenes like this, I think they just bring in his film crew.
No, I just mean in general on the show.
I'm trying to think. If you don't count the handful of Native Americans and Latino, I mean, he's had Hispanics and Latinos. He's had people that claim Native American heritage.
Okay.
But I don't think he's ever actually. Oh no! Wait, no. The episode with crap. How do I? He did. He had one woman who was black. She was the descendant of one of the local heroes here in Philadelphia.
Some guy.
Yeah. Again, her way of becoming an authority was that she was the descendant of a male person.
I'm just working on my meta thesis for the entire show, considering the type of people who are really, really into the Europeans were in North America before Columbus, and who are really into things like Vikings and Templars. Those people who are really into that ideology, whether or not that there be a sort of would show within the show as a hyperthesis.
I mean, when I'm not doing anything else, I mean, there you go. You have the time to sit and analyze these shows. So I think you just found yourself a research topic. All right, we got 2.5 minutes. We can do this. And probably one of those is the outro.
Accidental like my grandfather.
Well, you're right. That swamp is big. So could it have survived unnoticed? Well, in a swamp like this, maybe.
No.
Well,
Only
David,
like this one.
You're right. And the swamp monster really does exist. Think about what that would do. I mean, first off, they would have to rewrite just about everything that we think we know about these creatures that most people probably think are just a myth or a legend. So if this could be definitively proven, it would be a huge story.
Great.
I mean, it would be kind of cool.
Looking forward to.
Okay. Researchers around the world.
See, he thinks she's crazy, and you can tell by the way he's talking to her.
Creatures like this. High in the Himalayas near Mount Everest, the Indian Army recently discovered 32-inch long footprints they believe are tracks of the Yeti.
Okay.
Well, in honor of my experience, I thought I would order a
low energy as he is.
Swamp gas chili.
I think the network might have made him do this episode because he's very low energy too in this.
I was wondering that about the alien episode because it's just so. We really do need to watch that, just so you can see it. It's a weird episode even for Walter.
Because he's so far out of his element here.
Bon appetit.
Well, and clearly he doesn't even. Oh, so he'll eat the chili, but he won't eat the
Ooh,
crawdads.
that's good.
Yeah.
It is good.
Doesn't smell at all like swamp gas.
No.
It's what comes out afterwards.
Get it? It's a fart joke.
Look at the manly men. One of
Manly
them driving a manly boat, and the other one's holding a manly gun while dressed in manly black. Can I point out that Walter's wearing camo?
Because he's a manly man in the woods.
He also doesn't have his backpack. Like, what does he keep in that backpack?
I don't know.
Is it really just his purse? Or his merce? I'm sorry. I wouldn't want to feminize anything that Walter does in any way, shape, or form.
Now, the interesting thing is now that they moved on to the Travel Channel, there's going to be times when this manly man show is going to be followed by 5 secret locations in Disney World to visit.
I don't think so. It's so late at night. I'm not even going to watch the end of this because, like, it's just the wrap-up credits, and it's just him speculating on if... Fuck it. I don't want to watch anymore if it's what this boils down to.
If maybe... Let's see. So our chat was not lively today, but it's going to be lively in the rewatch.
I can't blame people for not wanting to watch this one. It's boring.
Yeah.
He can try to squeeze geology into it, which he at least attempts. Every now and then he'll at least walk up to a rock and be like, "Oh, hey guys, that's a rock," you know.
I'm very glad that I went to the extra effort because it looks like I put more effort in than Walter did this episode.
I feel like you did, really. I do. I feel like my cats destroying my hallway was a hell of a lot more entertaining than anything I just watched. I don't even. There's nothing to make comment. It's like there's nothing to comment on because it's all absolute crap. There's nothing. There's no evidence. There's no anything.
So I'm taking a sort of my other way I kind of like watching these shows is I try to watch them as TV shows, as pieces of entertainment.
Right.
And so, like, what was the point? What was the point of the entertainment here?
Yeah.
On one level, it was sort of your greatest hits of Bigfoot. It was like Bigfoot 101. If you were coming new to the whole contemporary modern mythos of Bigfoot, this was like a Bigfoot 101, which is crazy since this is his second Bigfoot episode.
Yeah.
Other than that, this could be one of those weird episodes where he tries to earn a little bit of credulity by sort of semi-debunking an idea.
But he didn't.
But he's doing a soft debunk.
I guess, yeah. I guess you could say that. Like, it was the swamp gas.
Which is... That has to be one of the weakest excuses. And I mean, that would be like a ghost hunting show and the end of it realizing, you know what, there were loose floorboards in this house,
right?
And when the wind hits the house, it kind of shakes it and makes them squeak.
It's like they just discovered that a loose floorboard is a thing. It's like, yeah,
it's that kind of like dumb, obvious. One of your initial things that one of these woo peddlers has to like know to debunk right off the top when you're talking to someone, because that'll be the first thing like an 8-year-old will come up to you. Well, have you thought about swamp gas?
Shut up, Junior. I guess the one thing that we could actually talk about as, you know, trained professionals is the whole concept of the oral tradition. That's come up a few times in the past week or two. And just like when you say oral tradition, a lot of times you're thinking about Native American oral tradition. And they did try to like hand that with this Choctaw Shamlan thing, which I don't even believe is an actual Choctaw thing. I think that's all just bullshit, but I don't know.
Hey, they had the folklore expert on with his little dead animal on his head.
Dude, that guy bothers me. Anyway, but we are also dealing with the oral tradition of, like you were pointing out, like the colonialism here and the whole poverty porn. And, you know, all of his experts are outsiders that he's brought in, and they're just kind of evaluating the stories of the people who are the locals and deciding on the value of that oral story themselves without really like referencing the locals in the area. We only spoke to one local on camera. Like those 3 people that they just kind of had at the beginning. I don't know what that was. Those people could have been from anywhere. But we only spoke with one person who is definitively from the area. We didn't bother to talk to anyone else about it. So we've got a very limited oral tradition. And then we bring in the dude who wears black, and he just straight up says people make up stories. So we've discounted her story, her oral tradition that is passed down through her family. We've discounted that because these 2 guys didn't find whatever it was her family story said that they should find.
And and Scott pulls off the biggest move of pseudoscience, pseudoarchaeology. He walks in, he hears a story, and he immediately imposes his narrative on top of it.
Right.
It's the classic, there's a Mayan tradition, here's Mayan artwork. That's nice. I have this idea about aliens. Smack. I'm putting it right on top of it, and that's what I'm viewing this whole thing for. You have this sort of family story about a thing that your grandfather saw one day in the woods, and even got some film to capture it. That's cool. That's a family story. That's something you tell amongst each other.
Right.
Now let me throw on this sort of fake scientific Gigantopithecus. Well, Scientificus was a thing, but there's been no
Gigantopithecus. Excuse you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I will concede to the paleontologist, Dr. Scott Walter. Oh, he's not.
I have a funny story to tell you when we're off air, but go ahead.
So yeah, this if nothing else, this was so boring, and maybe that's the benefit of watching this show as opposed to like an Ancient Aliens, which is all about glitz and it's moving so fast.
Yeah.
This is moving slow enough that you can see the woo happen in real time.
Yeah.
We wanted to show people how the woo works, how the double talk works, how the sort of pivot without response works, how the being presented with contradictory information and moving past works. That all happens in this show, and it's super obvious because it's so damn boring.
Right. Yeah. No, you have a very good point there. Like this episode's an excellent example of following that whole thing from the beginning. Like we start off with this outlandish story, which outlandish as it may be, is an oral tradition to these people. Yes, they are white people, but white people can have an oral tradition too, and they can be absolutely ridiculous.
Right. This is a culture with a cultural tradition.
Exactly. And so we go in here to this culture that he's clearly not part of, because nobody who is not part of this culture. I mean, I even would have eaten the crawdads.
Right. I mean, he's doing all the signifiers of the sort of colonialist outsider.
Yeah.
Imperialist outsider.
No, I'm not that crass. Yeah, and I mean, he all but did that to her face. But he does come in, he hears her story, he goes, "Oh, cool story, bro. Here's my version." And that's actually the version we start investigating, not the version that she shared. And like just dismissing her and everybody else. Like he never brings up her name again throughout the show until the end. But usually when he has male informants, he'll be like, "Well, Bob so-and-so told me X," like that person is an authority. He doesn't say that in the show. He just says like many people, some people, lots of reports of, and it's like, from who, from where, who are you talking about? Like, even if you just said locals, you would at least be acknowledging the group of people that you're working amongst, and he doesn't even do that.
Right. I mean, he is constantly othering the people of this area. As much as he's othering the alleged creature, it's a beast. It's hard. He's monsterifying this creature, which, if everything they say is true, is a fellow hominid of some sort or other, but it's being completely othered. I mean, so there's like, very thinly racialized language being used about the creature itself.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the dog whistles throughout these shows are they're very apparent when you know what you're listening for. But yeah, I mean, that's really, like, in general, that's really all I can come up with as a show. Is like it does open up the ability to talk about oral traditions and othering and colonialism. So I guess it makes it a really valuable episode. But as far as like being entertaining, this thing was boring as fuck. And I mean, like you're saying, at least with Ancient Aliens, like they've planned it out enough that they've got flashy pictures and amped up music, and they cut through like 5 different people all talking about the same thing, even though none of them
it's only afterwards that you're like,
yeah, it just moves so fast you can't keep up with it. This one is slow enough that you're like, I can see exactly where this is going. Like he even does like the thing of falling in the water and like off camera, and it's just like, get up.
Right.
So anyway, do you want to add anything else before we cut out?
No. Other than do we yet know what the next episode is going to be?
I can
give a teaser.
Well, you tease your other channel while I look this up.
Okay, so over at ArchaeoThoughts I don't have cool enough to have the channel name yet, personalized channel name yet. So just look up ArchaeoThoughts on YouTube and you'll find it. I meant to do it last week, but most likely tomorrow night at 8, I will be live streaming as I play Fallout 3 and begin a Phase 1 reconnaissance survey of the Capital Wasteland.
Oh,
it'll be basically a windshield survey. I'm going to walk around and note things and take notes, but there'll be no artifact collection because, well, it's a video game. I can't take anything.
Take screenshots. That's what we did
yeah, I mean, I'll be live streaming 100% of my gameplay, so that'll be the primary documentation.
You know what? If you're not stopping and drawing hand-drawn pictures of those things, I'm just not going to accept it as documents.
I have a blank field. I have my blank field notes book here. I will be documenting.
That's spectacular.
I have to make sure to put it in front of me. I have my printed out map of the Capital Wastelands that I will be marking.
Cool, dude.
As I'm traveling. So yes, there will be physical notes being taken, as well as the recorded piece.
I was really thinking about doing some live play of Sims. I have some mods that I'll have to in order to make it safe for everyone to watch, but they've got an archaeology career and they've also got an archaeology skill in the game. And I've really been thinking about like doing the investigation of that. So maybe after I watch what you do, I'll try to adapt it to the Sims game. I do have the next 2 episodes though.
Ooh.
Yeah, this season's kind of lame. So next episode is going to be Chicago's Mystery Bomber.
Maybe he's got materials. I mean, he allegedly did some work at the Pentagon after analyzing concrete after 9/11. That's part of his mythos. So maybe he can work on some of the material after a bombing. I'm just trying to stretch here where he is going to be useful.
Right, exactly. And then the 10th episode is going to be Drake's Lost Treasure.
Oh, that was a cool game. Uncharted 4.
So apparently we're going to go back in time to go. What are they even talking about? I guess I'll have to look that up a little bit. And then, yeah, we're going to go investigate pirates.
Yeah, if you play the Uncharted series, I'm pretty sure. Good thing I've played all 4 Uncharted games through, so I will be an expert on Drake's Treasure.
I like that.
I will be calling bullshit. I'm like, that's not what happened.
That is not how the game goes. I'm looking forward to that episode, actually. But unfortunately, that's 2 weeks from now. All right, somewhere in here, we got to figure out where I can get the alien artifacts episode so that you and I can watch it, because I'm telling you, do not do any research into that. Don't watch my reaction of it. I want you to come into it blind. Or as blind as possible, seeing as it was episode 2. All right. But until then, good luck on your survey. I'm looking forward to that, and I'll talk to you later.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Won't I? Am I talking to you Thursday?